Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated, where today I'm just thrilled to death. I'm joined by the legend himself, Sam Jones. Welcome, Sam.
Hey, great to be here. Thank you, Michael, for having me.
Yeah, no problem. As everybody can see, you're in the middle of a big move. You got your life boxed up behind you.
Yeah, or I could be in somebody's warehouse just stealing space right now. No, you're right. You're right, Michael. We're getting ready to make a move here pretty soon. But what's really cool about a move, I've accumulated so much over these years. And if you look behind me closely, some of those boxes say Funko. So
Yeah.
I've got hundreds and hundreds of action figures and comic books. So what I'm doing now, instead of just throwing everything in a box and labeling the box, I'm actually doing inventory of everything to do with the movie, film industry and entertainment, especially all the fans I've met, all the cool gifts they've given me, and all the things I've personally collected over the years. So I'm doing a big inventory, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's it like to have an action figure of yourself?
Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Well, here's the deal. It's a great question. I don't have an action figure of Sam J. Jones, which is that's what I want to do. I got an action figure of Flash Gordon. Yeah. There's a couple out there of the Highwayman.
Yeah.
And a couple of series, Highwayman, but Code Red back in '81.
Yeah,
it was real hard to find. Yeah, but I'm talking to a few companies. I said, look, why are we not doing, the guy, the person, the man, Sam J. Jones? It's cost effective for you. In other words, you don't have to pay a licensing fee, right? And
why not?
So that's something. Yeah, it's something I'm looking at right now. My buddy Lou Frigno's he has a statue of the Hulk, as his character, 9 feet high. So that's pretty
Holy cow.
But I don't think, of a character I did, yes. But I don't think I want a statue of me, any size.
I'd take a statue of me. Oh yeah, we got to meet Lou, and he was a lot of fun. He's a good guy.
He's a character too. Yeah.
Yeah, funny guy. Well, so let's start here, Sam. You were an athlete. Go through how it transitioned from being an athlete into being in the entertainment business.
No transition at all, really. Basically all my early movies, you had to be an athlete, you do. Even now in my 60s, I'm not going to be jumping off of buildings and doing fire gags. I'll still do most of my fight scenes. I'm not going to be doing any flying sidekicks or anything like that. But a lot of my fight scenes I'll still do.
Yeah.
It was, I'm sorry, I had a book right there. What was that? Did you see that?
I don't know.
That was funny. Yeah. I'm sorry,
Zoom.
Michael.
It does weird stuff.
Yeah. What was the question again?
So how did you go from, athletics into entertainment?
Yeah. I just kind of, instead of on a plane, I just took it to a movie studio or on a sound stage. Basically, it's the same thing. They haven't quite figured me out yet. That was my alarm.
Interview's over.
That was my alarm to say I'm late for the show, so I better call Mike.
Hey, we appreciate that.
Yeah. But no, they haven't figured it out. They haven't figured me out yet. I've been in the film business 43 years, and they haven't figured it out that I've been faking it the whole time. So,
well, hopefully they never do.
When I got to Hollywood, of course, I started to study. I got into the theater, a great theater group, scene study class, and that was the key. Also, a improvisational class was the key. Anybody wants to be an actor out there, I don't care what age you are, or in the film industry, you want to take an improvisational class, you want to take scene study, and you want to get involved in theater. And yeah, and then you want to learn all about filmmaking, which your son is doing too.
Yeah, he's working on that part of it. Yeah, that's great. You
But I
mentioned
learned something. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was going to say,
I was gonna say,
you mentioned Code Red. I was thinking about that. Lauren Green was on that show.
I played Lauren Green's son.
Yeah.
And also, do you remember Dennis Haysbert? You would know him now because he's the is it the, I don't want to say the wrong brand. Is it the State Farm guy or the State Farm guy or the Allstate guy?
Allstate. Yeah, Allstate. So he played Major League. He played the role in Major League where he was the ball player.
Dennis was wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I just mentioned that currently, that's the big commercial that he's doing right now. But he's known. He ended up being a movie star after that. He did a lot of movies, man.
He was in 24 too.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize he was on that show too. I remember I was pretty young when it was on, but I remember Lauren Green because I was a big Bonanza fan, and Battlestar Galactica when he was on that. And that's pretty awesome.
And Julie Adams played my mother. Now, who's Julie Adams? A wonderful lady. What was it? Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was her.
That was her.
In the 50s. That was her, yeah. It was amazing.
They used to show those black and white Halloween type movies on Halloween late night. And my parents would let me stay up and watch, those. And of course you had Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi, all those. That was a fun time.
Do you remember Andrew Stevens? He played my brother.
Oh, Andrew Stevens.
He ended up last 25, 30 years, he became a movie producer. I think with franchise, he did a lot of movies as a producer. But in the early years, back in the 70s and 80s, he was known back in I think it was the late 70s. He did a movie called The Bastard. I think it was a miniseries. I know that's a crazy name, but that was the name of the miniseries. Yeah. And I think that was part of his claim to fame. Nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a pretty good cast on that show.
We did, absolutely.
You were a firefighter? It was a firefighting show?
I was the helicopter pilot for the fire department.
Yeah, that's a good show.
And that was an easy role because, I'm not really. I mean, I did fly in some helicopters, but not as a pilot. Right. But when they went to shoot all my scenes, you don't show up on a Monday and you shoot a helicopter scene Monday, and then you come back on Thursday and shoot another one. You do it all the week's scheduling that's in a helicopter, you shoot the same day. Yeah. So I should say film the same day.
That's right.
So you're talking about easy. So what they did with me, it's a prop. Sometimes they use a real helicopter that's just stationary, but they put it up on, they elevate it a little bit, and they put the camera low and they shoot up. So behind me is the sky. So what's really neat, I would shoot the entire week's episode in just a couple hours. Okay. I mean, all of my helicopter dialogue,
That's great. That's an easy job.
That's an easy job.
So when you got the role for Flash Gordon, I was reading, I didn't know this, but you actually beat out some pretty big names for that role.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't tell. I didn't figure that out until years later because Dino De Laurentiis is very confidential, very non-disclosure. Yeah, I'm not kidding you, Michael. We're talking 1970. Well, the meetings, the first phase of the audition started in 1978. Wow. 8, 9, 10 months of meetings and auditions, and it carried over. In 1979, that's when we filmed. But anytime you were instructed to walk in one door, park at a certain parking lot, walk in one door. When you're done, exit to another door. Well, I didn't know people behind me coming in different doors or everybody entering and exiting certain times, certain ways, a time of day. So my point is I never got to see. Usually when you do auditions in the old days, you'd have 20 guys, for the guys anyway, even for the girls, 20 girls, they all look very similar for that part. 20 guys in the lobby, you see guys you know. Distraction too, because you want to go there, you want to get the job, you want to focus on walking in and nailing it and doing a great performance. Well, even when I walk in the lobbies, even nowadays, I see a lot of familiar faces. I can't do it. Or if I do come in, what I mean is I'll come in, I'll check in, I'll sign in very early. I'll say hi to some guys they haven't seen in 20 years or 10 years. And then I'll leave. And then I'll go focus on my thing. But anyway, that's a little rabbit trail I got on. But that's a good lesson. But it's also a good lesson for actors who want to be, you need to be prepared, you actors out there, no matter what age you are. You go into a meeting, an interview, an audition, you need to eliminate every distraction, especially if there's friends in the room. Or maybe there's somebody, maybe you're going up against a big star, maybe it could be intimidating. So you need to walk away from that and just go in and prepared. So anyway, I did about 8 months of auditions and meetings with Dino. And then he flew me to England. And remember, we did not have video in 1979. So if you wanted to screen test somebody, it was done on film. So what does that mean? Right. See, here's the comparison. Nowadays, I could take my little iPhone here, right? Yeah. And I could do a self video and push a button, send, and I submit that. That's my audition. I'm serious. That's my audition. Easy. But back then, if you wanted to do something on film, required a film crew. It required a camera department, a lighting department, hair, makeup, wardrobe department, everybody and everything, just to do an audition. I should say screen test, a big difference. So 30 days I'm in London screen testing. Now he was screen testing other actors too. I didn't know this at the time. Kurt Russell and Arnold and a couple
that would have been a different movie with Arnold, I think.
Yes. And then, of course, again, the same thing Dino required. You walk in one door at this certain time. Don't be early. Don't be late. And you walk out the door when you're done. Yeah. Right. And then finally, after 30 days of screen testing, Dino said, okay, you got it. You're the Flash Gordon.
That's awesome. Well,
I think you were getting at why did I go to Hollywood too. I was in the Marine Corps. I joined the Marine Corps right out of high school. That would have been 1972. I joined the Marine Corps and I wanted to be a life. So, but the problem I did is I started playing Marine Corps football and I thought I was pretty good. Matter of fact, I thought I was pretty good. So I said, you know what? Let me just do one hit to the Marine Corps. And I think the NFL or AFL, back then, AFL, I think the Professional Football League needs me. So I did my time in the Corps and I went to Seattle to try out for the Seahawks. Yeah. And after my tryout, the coach said, come here. He said, no, we don't need you. You can go now. Okay. But here's the cool thing about this. I hope people are listening. I know they are. I was very discouraged. Here I am. Let me see, 17 in the Marine Corps, 18, 19, 20. I'm 21. I'm very discouraged because I didn't make professional football. Yeah. And I really got down. But here's the deal. Don't get too down on yourself. You could be, a little bit concerned about your future at that time. Fine. But don't get down. Don't get depressed. Don't get discouraged. And I still had this, I knew there was something for me. So the next day, when I was a little bit angry and pissed and a little bit down, I read this article. It's like God gave me this article to read on Clint Eastwood. And I read that, and that was 1976. I read the article on Clint Eastwood, and that inspired me to go to Hollywood. It just did. It just did. And I went to Hollywood a couple months later. I arrived in 77. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah.
So
that's a
one
great
door
story.
was shut. I had a dream to be a professional football player. Never dreamed about the movie business. And the door was shut. And then another little window opened up. But we're never going to see that little window opened up if we're so, Oh, poor me. Or else the world is my enemy. They're beating me up. It's their fault. Oh, no. Guess what? We got to let that stuff go. You've got
That's
to
right.
let that go. And,
Yeah, that's good advice.
and you'll see those doors, those windows, and those doors open up big for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So you did a stint on the Highwayman, and
Oh, I loved it.
that was a interesting show because it was kind of like Mad Max, Knight Rider,
Yeah.
you know, something different. Tell me a little bit about that show.
Well, it was my favorite project out of
Yeah.
everything. Why? As a guy, imagine, get a visual of this. Well, you saw the Highwayman. Those that didn't, get a visual of this. So you're dressed in black leather, just like Mel Gibson in Road Warrior.
Right.
And as you said, Michael, Mad Max. So you're dressed in these leathers. You got a sawed-off shotgun strapped to a holster right on your leg. I mean, this shotgun is about that big. And I mean, the round is it's massive, right? Looks like a 50 caliber on steroids. So black leather, you got this gigantic weapon strapped to your leg. You have a federal badge, a federal license as a federal agent to do what you want to do. And you're driving an 18-wheeler with all these gadgets, surprises inside. And actually the cab was an actual helicopter. I mean, it didn't really fly, but you know, the special effects, it flew. It disembarked from the truck and became a helicopter. And you're in the great outdoors of Arizona filming every day.
Yeah.
And what's cool about that, and a lot of people tell you, they'll know in the movie and TV industry, 90%, I don't know, 75 to 90% of your scenes are shot indoors, and that can get really boring, okay?
Right.
So we were outdoors. So there you go. As a guy outdoors in Arizona in the superstitious mountains with the sun and the cold and the heat and the windstorms and all that, dressed like Road Warrior, federal badge to do what you wanted, and drove an 18-wheeler that turned into a helicopter. That was it, man.
Well, I know as you know, a younger teenager at the time, I think when that one came out, I loved it. I mean, that was definitely teenage boy. I was like, that's the show.
Yeah, I love it. I think we beat the ratings, and it goes to, you know, I get asked all the time, like, well, when you filmed this, did you know it was going to be a big success, a big hit? No, even take an example, a case study like The Highwayman. It shattered all ratings. I mean, it beat, excuse me. Mona, can I get a glass of water, please? It didn't beat the Academy Awards, but it beat out the Emmy Awards, and it beat out every show on the air.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about, even sometimes your show doesn't get picked up, sometimes not because it wasn't good.
Right.
That show was excellent. That show beat everybody. It didn't get picked up because, you know, you're dealing with a studio, you're dealing with a network, you're dealing with multiple decision makers. So you have no control. There is no control. Yeah. Thank you, dear. Everybody say hi to my wife, Ramona. She's here somewhere.
Hi, Ramona.
There it is.
Yeah,
that's the one stuff right there. Yeah. So, I mean, so I learned very quick. You can't get into that mindset. Oh, this is the best show. It's going to go on for 10 years. You can't say that. You don't want to get locked into that. Our jobs as actors or filmmakers is to do the very best. You show up on time, you're rested, you're prepared, and that's what we do. But the other case study, let's take another case study. Now that's a blessing. What I just said is working in the business. That's the first blessing. Second blessing is if your product does well. The third blessing is I use Flash Gordon as a case study. I call Flash Gordon the triple blessing. Why is that? And what is the third blessing? The first blessing, again, is getting hired in the film industry.
Right.
Getting hired. Are you kidding me? You ready for these stats? Only 3% of every actor in the world, only 3% makes enough money to pay their bills from
Wow.
just movie jobs. Let me flip that around. That means, you ready? Come on, I want you to write this down or get it in your brain. Don't ever forget this. That means 97% of every actor in the world cannot pay their bills, their monthly bills, unless they have a secondary income. Hello?
Wow.
Hello?
Yeah.
Big
Wow.
wake-up call. So back to Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon, I got hired. Number one, that was the first blessing. It did well. It didn't do well in America, but it only did well in America when it went to VHS video back then.
Right. That's right.
It became, top 10 of all time. It did really well internationally. Okay, so the second blessing, it did well. Third blessing is why we're talking right now, Michael. Longevity.
That's right.
So that's why I call it a triple blessing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, and even, it carried over when Sci-Fi Network decided to make it as a TV show years later. They called you and had you guest star on the show.
I did. I played, his name was Kreb. He was Kreb. I loved it. I had 4 hours in hair and makeup because I looked like a cross between, a guy that lived in a dungeon, which he really did. He lived in a dungeon for 20 years.
Yeah.
And he, at the time he was in prison, and a prison, what do you call it, a trustee. And the other half, he just loved to be there. He looked like a cross between a dungeon man and a homeless guy who's been homeless most of his life.
Yeah.
I mean, I had legions, I had black teeth, I had legions on my face, and the hair, they wanted to be long and stringy and all that. And that was wild.
Yeah, it was a fun surprise when you showed up on the show. That was
cool. Cool.
Well, and I know we need to wrap up, but I wanted to mention you did a couple of comedic turns on Ted, in the movie Ted and the sequel.
See?
Hilarious.
Isn't that funny?
Oh my
You
God.
never know when you get that call, man. You never know, And I try to tell other people in the business. Here's the deal. I got the call in my 50s, right? Yeah. I got the call in 50s. And here's the call. Sam Jones, this is Seth MacFarlane here. Now you need to know, when I was 8 years old, I was a big fan of yours and you changed my life. I said, now who is this again? Okay. I said, who he was. And Seth, of course. And here's the deal. Young people, here's a case study of a young man. Could be young. I get calls from young women who were 8 or 9. Seth was 8 or 9. He grew up to be a decision maker. Doesn't matter about the movie business. He could have grown up to be a decision maker in another industry.
Sure.
That's why I tell actors and athletes nowadays, be careful. Be careful of your behavior. Be careful what you speak. Because yes, we are impacting people, and especially our youth. We got to be very careful what we say, what we do, because people are watching and listening.
That's right.
So here I am in my 50s, right? Getting a call from a young man who I changed his life. I said, Seth, how did I change your life? How did Sam J. Jones and the movie Flash Gordon change your life? And he said, when I walked out of the movie theater, I knew I wanted to be movie business.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, that's cool. So he grew up, and not only did he want me in his movie, but he wanted me in his directorial debut. Think about that.
How about that?
The first movie that he got was from Universal. And so it's his first movie he's directing. And I'm getting other calls. That means if you think about the math right now, I got other calls from young women who were 8, 9, 10 years old. They're now in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
I'm getting their calls, or they're in their 30s. So if you do the math, Michael, and everybody listening, right? If you do the math, so I'm in my 60s now, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm encouraging and I'm uplifting certain age youth right now, like Ted and Ted 2, opened up and gave me that younger age demographic.
Right.
Added a fan base, right? So if I continue to inspire, and just impacting people, whatever they see from me that's working, that means if I'm in my 60s, that means, and if that continues, okay, grandfather, son, grandson, grandmother, daughter, granddaughter, I'll be getting the calls till I'm in my 90s.
You're never going to retire.
Think about it. So Seth's son and daughter, they'll call me, right? Their sons and daughters will call me.
Yeah,
okay?
You're going to be very busy.
So don't, guys, gals, don't burn any bridges. Yeah, I know, right. and of course, and I'm not the other side either. I'm not for appeasing people either. Okay,
right?
Appeasing them. I'm for just, I guess, like Teddy Roosevelt. I love what he said. Speak softly, but carry a big stick. I love it.
That's right.
I love it. I'm serious.
Yeah, that's
we need to. I get a lot of guys ask me about what's the greatest power you've ever seen operating in your life, and it's a no-brainer for me. Walking in God's love and authority with humility. There's no greater power, anyway, that I've ever witnessed or ever been part of is God's love and His authority and humility. I'm telling you, man, it's indestructible.
Yeah, that's terrific.
And laughing, we got to laugh, man. Come on.
Absolutely.
I turned off the TV. Do you know I turned off the TV? I think I'm going on 11, 12 weeks. I'm yelling at the news. I'm even yelling at the same party I belong to. Okay, seriously. So my wife said, "Why don't we fast the news?"
Oh, okay? I like that.
Political news. So guess what, Michael? I'm a liberated, freed man right now because I have not seen one political. I just tell my wife, I said, "Tell me if our city's burning." I mean, we're in San Diego, and I know we got to keep praying for everybody in Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. God bless you guys and God's protection over you. Those fires are serious. I got a son going to college up in the Bay Area. He said the sky is just, it's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's we got to laugh, we got to smile, and not take offense so easily. So what?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This is the condition we're all faced with, Michael. We're human beings. Of course, people are going to say things that hurt. We're going to say things. Of course, we're going to be offended. But why react being offended? Michael, if you know who you are, and everybody out there listening, if you know who you really are, as a woman and or as a man, then you should never take offense no matter what anybody says. End of story.
Yeah, I love that.
That's what changed my life. It's turning off the political news. It's been 11 weeks. I've lost 3 months almost. And not taking offense at what people say. It's time to get freed up right now. Everybody.
You have been given some good advice on here. This is like
I'm going to send you the bill. I'm going to send you the bill.
It's fair. Well, Sam, thank you so much.
Wait a minute, Michael. Yeah. If everybody listens to what I just said, guess what you get? You get boxes. You get your life boxed up, man.
I need a box. Yes. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Sam, this has been great. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. This is
all right.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before you go though, where can people find you? Do you have a web page?
Yeah, I mean, our documentary, and we have 3 other independent films up, and I think everything's been added to my documentary page called lifeafterflash.com.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then and you'll find all my social media, and you'll know because there were some imposters that I had to go chase down. On the one guy. I think he made a couple business deals, said he was me. But so the reason why I tell you, like the Facebook page, all these, what's it called? Verified, the check mark.
Yeah.
So that's it. Whether it's my, Instagram and all that. I'm an old guy. Okay.
I know. I'm saying like
there's always a check mark there's always a verified check mark there. Okay.
Very good.
With Facebook and all that. Yeah.
Very good. I know you're a convention regular.
Yes.
Anything upcoming, or are we still in a holding pattern?
You know, this year's been our 40th anniversary of our reunion tour, and we were doing it up until the COVID hit. And I've got, but the good thing about Flash Gordon, it opened Christmas 1980 and carried over in 1981. What does that mean? We get to carry this over into 2021.
That's great.
So
so you still can do it.
I got my two leading ladies, Melody Anderson and Ornella Muti, and Brian Blessed on board. We already did one event. I'm continuing to do smaller events around the country. And then when it opens up, of course, internationally, we're going to continue to do it. Ornella's in Italy, Brian's in England. So we're going to meet up over there and do a whole lot of other events in 2021.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's exciting. Well, hopefully we'll get to see you at some conventions again next
We're going to do it, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that would be great. We had a bunch, planned for this year, and they've all, been canceled, but I'm sure we'll get back to it.
Well, dude, just like that story I told you about me wanting to play professional football, and the coach said, "No, we don't need you." Hey, get ready, guys. Get ready.
That's right.
The thing about a storm, America's gone through a double storm. I call it a double storm. We had an economical storm and we had a virus storm. Yeah. Well, guess what? For every storm that starts, it's going to end. It's going to end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you, Sam. This has been a lot of fun. Yeah, good luck with your move.
Finally, keep laughing.
Promise.
Yes. All right, man.
All right, sir. We'll talk to you again.
I appreciate it. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Take care. You got it.
Oh. All right. So that was the legend, Sam Jones. That was a big deal for me. Teenage Mike, not even quite teenage Mike. Very happy right now. That was awesome. That was awesome. That's what an inspirational guy. He's such a fun guy. And I've always said this: if I was in a hit movie, TV show, whatever it is, I would make the most of that for the rest of my life. And I think Sam does that. He embraces the fans. He's out there at the conventions. He's never gotten away. You always hear a lot of times people, they get tired of being kind of stuck in a certain role. He's never done that. He's always embraced it. And I think that's terrific. So really appreciated the time with Sam. That was awesome. That was, I don't even know what to say. That was awesome. Please check us out online at meistercon.com. It's an all-new website. You can find us on Facebook under MeisterCon. We have a original scripted audio drama right now on MeisterCon. So take a look at that. It's called The Last Saturday Night. You're going to love it. It has just an amazing cast. You have to go and check out that cast. And, I even have a small role opposite of Ed Asner, and I'm just thrilled about. But Brett's on there as well. Emily's on there. Go and check that out because it's an all-star cast. It's amazing. Please check that one out. I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you very much. If you are inclined to donate to the program, we can definitely use the help. We're in the process of building our studio. You can go to patreon.com/MeisterCon, and we always appreciate anything you can do. Thank you, everybody, for your continued support, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Or we'll stay here and hit the wrong button. See you next time.